We're taking a look at the standings here. Goes Wesley at 1-0, young Kiv, KMac at 0-1. I want to share a very quick story. This is true life. Dave Casper was my very first boss out of school. That is a true story. He's a big-time insurance salesman, actually, in my first job out of school, selling insurance. And Dave Casper was my actual first boss, and he was an absolutely nice guy.
That's awesome.
So there you go. Dave Casper, hi. So you saw a look at the standings there. Here is the Group D schedule. We're taking a look at round number 2. Young Kiv versus Goes, and KMac taking on Wesley. That KMac-Wesley matchup, us three at the desk, we're going to be handling that, keeping a close eye on that one. But of course, the featured match here in round number 2. Young Kiv taking on Goes. It's 2 MCS belt winners going head-to-head, so we brought in the heavy guns for this one. We've got Scott Cole, RG on the call. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thanks so much, James. You couldn't be more right. These are just 2 incredible Madden players that we're about to see. One coming off a heartbreaking loss in overtime, and then Goes kind of cruising. So 2 separate ways to enter game 2.
These are the 2 guys in this tournament that have belts. Nobody else in the entire Madden Challenge has that hardware or coveted championship belt. When we saw the bracket, this was the matchup we circled, Scott. We knew this was the one. As a caster, you hope you get it. As a fan of competitive Madden, this is the match you're waiting for. And with Kiv losing that game to Joe Rice, it makes those implications that much more important for the Kiva going into this one.
Well, here's the matchup we're going to be watching. It's going to be Goes pass offense, and can young Kiv box it up?
Ghost now has a little bit of a balanced attack. He's running the ball, he's passing out of that strong close. With Kiv, the most impressive thing is you see he has the #1 ranked pass defense right there. This young man also has the #1 ranked rush defense from ladder play coming into the Madden Challenge. So he has the #1 defense out of everybody by far. We'll see if he can bring it out here against the highly prolific Hassan Spall, a.k.a. Ghost.
Well, let's get to meet our players here in Game 2 of Group D. Young Kiv, you can see, the resume speaks for itself. 12 majors. You mentioned the belts. Makes his home right up there near his favorite team, the Seattle Seahawks.
How about that number? $226,000 in career earnings. There is very few people that have the credentials of young Kiv. And he told me something going into this specific matchup. He said, gee, I've beaten almost everybody there is in the MCS. My last 2 matchups against Ghost and MCS play, I'm 0-2, and I want to put an end to that. So he's looking to get his win in this one against Ghost, something he hasn't done before.
Knocked out our guy Holly, or Holly would have been here. Crazy. Take a look at his notable draft picks there. That Shaquem Griffin was big. Kyler Murray's got to take care of the football.
Kyler's big, but Shaquille Griffin is the key. That is a shutdown corner, the best corner there is in all of MUT draft.
On the other side Goes. We didn't see him in the featured match, but now here he is, 1-0. And remember, it was up in Minnesota when he raised the belt high there at Super Bowl 52. Just 22 years old. Goes to school at Rutgers sometimes. He's from New Jersey.
And our boys touched at it up at the desk. Ghost's big thing was he got his first choice and playbook in the draft in that Denver Broncos playbook, and he was so excited about it. Here's the personnel he's going to use with that Denver Broncos playbook. You see Mike Vick, Dalvin Cook, Larry Fitzgerald, but this is the complete opposite of his experience last year, Scott. He got a playbook that he didn't like last year in the Madden Challenge. He had an early exit, completely different story this year, and he's looking for a better showing. He says it's important for him to have a good showing here in the Madden Challenge because he was not happy with his showing in the same exact tournament last year.
Looks like everybody's all ready to go. It's going to be young Kiv taking on Goes here in a pivotal matchup in the middle of Group D. Goes certainly trying to lock up that bye. And Kiv trying to get back on track after a heartbreaker. Had the turnover bug against Wesley. He's going to get it first. Takes it from his own end zone. Across the 10. Out past the 20 to the 25-yard line. And these guys have won a lot of money playing Madden, RG.
You see that right there. $226,000 from Kiv, $124,000 from Ghost. That's over about 340 grand between these two guys, just playing good old John Madden football. Two of the best that we have, two of the most consistent since we started the MCS era. Kiv, a former Seahawks club champion. Ghost, a two-time Redskins club champion. And like you said, just a few years ago, took that Redskins club champion and turned it into the club championship when he took home that $100,000 and that belt.
As you mentioned, RG, before he kicked off, these the only two belt winners among the 16. Kiv would probably want to face anybody but Goes down 0-1 inside group play.
And Kiv's record, I want to just call it out. When he played in ladder play, we've seen a lot of mediocre records, Scott, from the guys that qualified for this Madden Challenge. Kiv, his record, I have it here, right here. Give me 1 second. 45-2. That was the highest winning percentage out of anybody in the tournament. And with his loss to Joe Rice, I mean, he's already got half of the losses he had in the entire qualification period.
So 1st and 10 at the 25. Kiv will go to work, gets it outside. There's Sean Ross, turns it upfield, gains a few more yards before going out of bounds at the 33.
And young Kiv usually, you know, a private guy. I talked to him about, you know, Kiv, what are your plans? You've been...
As it gets sacked up, they're on 2nd down, and here comes a big 3rd down.
But I was asking him, hey, do you want to stick with this competitive Madden? You've been doing this for a long time, a lot of success. What's next? He told me he might start getting into some of the YouTube finally and start giving people some tips. And I said, hey, you know, we need some more Madden pros doing that. We've seen, you know, Chaos. He got a lot of people having success with that Throne. TD Barrett, one of my favorites. They told me and Scott we couldn't eat all the brisket, so I called them out. But that would be pretty cool. I hope Kiv, you know, takes himself up on that and gets involved into the YouTube.
3rd and 8, and it's picked off by Savage. A Savage interception.
Yeah, and forget getting involved in YouTube. Right now, he needs to bring out that #1 defense, because he just threw what I believe is his 5th interception in about 5, or if you count overtime, 6 quarters of John Madden football. This is just uncharacteristic from the Kiva. And I have to ask myself, Scott, how much of this is him being in that Tennessee Titans playbook that he drafted, which is something that he is not used to. It's not his normal gun bunch that he's been so comfortable in, you know, all these years.
You know what Kiv and Tom Brady have in common?
Oh, how bad are you about to troll me? Like, I could sniff this from a mile away.
I'll just let it be.
I know you too well, brother.
Let it be. It had something to do with Vrabel, but I'll just let it be.
You remember, I was almost, oh man, when they had that fake, I hope it's a fake rumor of Brady enrolling his kids into Tennessee, I almost fainted. That wasn't fun times.
I thought we were going to have to replace you before the game yesterday.
I didn't know if I could continue.
Here's Michael Vick. Stayed in the pocket, but brought down by Devin Bush.
It's funny seeing Kiv. He's really transitioned to a defensive player to have the #1 pass defense, the #1 rush defense. For a guy that's known as being one of the most prolific offensive players, it's shown how Kiv's adapted his game style to this MUT draft mode.
Nice spin, gets to the 40-yard line. That's a gain of 8. So it's going to be a 3rd and 7 just outside of field goal range.
One of the things I love that Ghost told me, get into it right after this big 3rd down play.
Here comes Ross across the formation. Big down here for Goes on its opening drive after the INT. Vick, that's a wide open Larry Fitzgerald. And the former Walter Payton Award winner will pick up the 1st down.
Coming into the tournament, I asked Ghost Scout, what's more important to you, the money or the belt? And he said, look, if the belt came with no money, I would take the money. But you know what? I would take the belt in 5K. You know, it tells me the belt and the glory is so important to that. That's him leaving $30K on the table because it's a $35,000 first prize. So he's essentially saying that belt's worth at least $30K to him. And I love to see that. These guys that have accomplished it, the money is nice, the glory lasts forever, and that's what a lot of them are gunning for.
I think it's easier to say that when you won one, maybe.
Oh, for sure. No, for sure. Both of these guys have won one, and they both want that second one. You know, they both mentioned Drini. They said that I don't like that Drini already has 2, and Mo has 2, and Skim has 3. That, you know, they're trying to pull away. Got to start catching up.
3rd and 2. Vic comes the pressure. They pick it up momentarily, but not enough time. It's a loss of 12. And all of a sudden, it's a 51-yard field goal incoming. Kick is up. Does it have the distance? Yes, it does. It looked like it would have been good from 54 or so.
I'll tell you, Coltrane, Josh Allen made a big play for Kiff before that field goal. Goes had the A crossing route about to break wide open into the end zone. And the pressure, oh, look at that. Little funky bounce. Pressure got there right before Ghost could get that pass off. Instead of 7, Ghost settles for 3. And if you're the Kiva, it's time to get your offense in rhythm. We are used to seeing you make crispy reads, be as prolific as possible. But in your last game, in this game, you already got 5 intos, just so uncharacteristic. And
Make
another
it
one!
6! Goes! They won't catch him! It's a pick 6! And it's about to be 10-0 Goes!
If you're young Kiv and you have the #1 ranked defense, Scott, off passing and rushing, what you cannot do is give Ghost points when you're on offense. You need to keep your defense in the game. He throws his 6th interception. This is just so uncharacteristic. Ghost lurks him with Burns, one of the best linebackers in the entire draft. And Kiv is in trouble right now in this first quarter, already down 0-1 in this group, going up against the veteran and Ghost. This is completely unexpected. I knew Ghost was talented, but I expected this to be a back-and-forth battle. It's all Ghost so far.
OBJ picks up the first down. He had been having trouble in the red zone in his first game, but it's getting wild here early. Hands it off to Eckler. Eckler gets to the outside. 1 man to beat. Does he have the speed? Savage will catch him. But he works his way down to the 27-yard line. Big play for Kiv.
That's why that Darnell Savage is such a factor, Coltrane. He's the fastest safety you can get in the draft at 93 speed. If that's not him on the field, Eckler's probably out and off to the cribbo. But Savage just has too much speed, hawks him down, and saves a touchdown. That's Ghost's personnel doing serious work for him right there.
After the end of one, 10-0 in the favor of Goes after 2 interceptions thrown by Kiv. But young Kiv on the drive here to start the second quarter. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 27. Murray gets it to Ross, and Ross will pick up the first down. Little burst of speed, and just like that, he's in the red zone.
We saw Trey in a similar situation earlier, and you really need to make sure you get points here if you're a young Kiv. And Trey turned the ball over, and instead of making it a 1-possession ball game, it's turned into a 3-possession ball game. I don't anticipate Kiv making that mistake. And he had some Kiv actually, though, did make that mistake against Joe Rice in the last game a couple of times. So let's see if he starts to clean up his act here. A touchdown here would be huge to get him back in this ball game.
He'll flip the bunch. He's got to snap it. Murray looking for Kiv, looking, and he throws another pick. It's C.J. Mosley this time.
I'm in shock. I'm in complete shock, Coltrane. This is just not what you expect from Shea Kivlin, the 22-year-old phenom from Edmonds, Washington. One of the best in the business. Now has, what, 7 interceptions in
If he's trying to get a
6
sponsorship
quarters?
from Warby Parker, this is not the way to do it, young Kiv. To the outside, Dave Casper took a big hit and couldn't hang on.
What's with this red zone bug, Coltrane? You're getting in there, and we've seen so many red zone turnovers here at the Madden Challenge. Players just not protecting the ball, and not just any players. I mean, this is young Kiv we're talking about. I mean, he was, back when you bought Madden 19 a few years ago, when you opened up the game, this kid was in the box.
Well, he's in a box right now. And finds himself down 10, but it's only 10. Get a stop here, get it back.
It's good. Need his defense to carry him.
Started slow his last game against Wesley before forcing overtime. And maybe should have had a pick six to close it. But today's been unlucky for Kiv. And there's Troy Apke.
Come on, get up.
Get on your feet, young man.
Damn, that's so big. Come on.
Big interception by Kiv.
And there it is. He's had 7 interceptions he's thrown in his last 2 games so far. Kiv says, why don't I get one of my own, get myself back in this ball game? And that's exactly what he needed. And here he goes, another chance. You don't get too many second chances in life, Scott, but here he is, another chance to make this a 1-possession ball game in the second quarter. He has to take advantage of this.
Murray will use his feet, looking for the marker, but will step out of bounds at the 16. It's a gain of 8.
If you goes to, this messes with your psyche. You've done everything you can to win this game early on. 3 interceptions. You feel like you should be running away with it, but here Kiv is knocking on the door.
That's a big hit coming through, a loss of 1. As Eckler couldn't get back to the line. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 3.
It's correct, Scott. That is a big tackle, because if he doesn't convert this 3rd and 3, he'll probably have to take his 3.
And he will pick up the first down and does get down at the 7. So we got 2 mobile quarterbacks in this game. I mean, Murray and Vic. I'm not saying they're on the same level, but they both can use their legs. And he's going to take this to the 2-minute warning.
You know what's funny is in the mutt draft mode, Kyler Murray actually faster than Vic. Vic with the 88 speed. Kyler Murray's got that 90 speed, so not used to seeing many quarterbacks have that speed advantage over the Vikings.
It's not fully gassed up.
Yeah, it's not the full Vikings. It's not the full Vikings. Did you see him when they announced on one of the football games that Lamar Jackson had exceeded his speed rating?
Yeah.
And Vic was quoted as saying, he can take all the other stuff. leave my Madden accolades alone.
1st and goal.
Got a kick out of that one.
Had a good time hanging out with him in Chicago for the kickoff this year. Couldn't be a nicer person.
Now you're just showing off.
Murray.
Got it.
And Harrison doesn't get there in the 1. Yeah, I'm just sitting there with Juice WRLD, Little Yachty, Vic, Hester, Amon Green. No big deal. Just, you know, regular guys I hang out with.
Playing a little superstar KO.
And then I had a slum and just hang out with Urlacher and Ocho. Those were good times.
These are the stories I have to hear on the regular, by the way. If Kiv doesn't score here, he's going to be frustrated, Scott, because he had the tight end wide open. Won't matter.
Touchdown, Kiv. This time keeps it on the ground.
Come on, get a stop.
Much more safe, and he'll kick the PAT here. And just like that, you're going to have a field goal game when you've played awful.
That's what I'm saying. What's the secret, Kiv? How can I throw 3 interceptions in the first half and only be down 3? By the time I do this in an online game, I'm out of there. It gets out of hand. The connection to your opponent has been lost. That's what my opponent sees, because there's no way I'm coming back from something like that. But here the Kiv is, only down 3 as you see him punch it in here. And against an elite player, no doubt, in Ghost. That's why he's one of the best. Always going to be a tough out.
So 1st and 10 from the 28 for Goes. Does have a 3-point lead here with 1:24 to go. Remember, he's going to get the ball on the other side of the half. And he'll just drop this off for Ross. Take his 4 yards and live to face another down.
See how gross that pocket presence was from Ghost? A D lineman just coming right up to A-gap. Most people just panic. Ghost steps back, lets the fullback pick him up, sidestep, throws the open drag. That was textbook.
Vic. And that's going to be deflected at the line. Could have been very dangerous.
Ghost was going to check down to that popular hitch route that we've talked to you about. Kiv's defender jumps up, swats it down, and says no.
It's been a good one at Pizza Hut Stadium thus far. 10-7. 1:13 to go in the half now. And there's Dave Casper. It's going to be 4th and inches. I'd buy life insurance from James Coe.
Buy anything from James Coe. Stand-up guy right there. It's been an honor having him on the broadcast. What's even better, too, is during the football season, get some free fantasy football advice, and I'll take it. He's a savant. Between him and Donnie Moore, I shouldn't even be drafting my own teams. Big 4th down, Coltrane.
Everybody knows auto draft is the way to go. 4th and maybe an inch. It's a big time situation. You don't get it here, and Kiv is then striking distance, so maybe taking the lead before the half. High form. Goes to Elliott deep, and it's a turnover. Turnover on downs. Kiv stands tall.
Who said you only have to hold the door on the goal line? Kiv sees that inch-yard line, and he gets his hodor on. And now at the very least, he should be able to tie this ball game because he's pretty much in field goal range. But he could very well take the lead after throwing 3 interceptions in the first half. This is unheard of. Only by the young Kiva do you see magic like this.
Sometimes you see Tiger Woods and he isn't hitting the fairway, isn't hitting the greens, but somehow he's still right there.
It's a great comparison. That's exactly what we're seeing right here. Look at the focus of both of those high-level competitors, two of the best that we got.
Murray hands it off to Eckler. Eckler now in the red zone. The timeouts are going to be a factor here, 2 each. Kiv's going to take his time. So they're going to mark it at the 11-yard line, 29 seconds to go in the half. Kiv has played bad, and he's trying to take the lead. Hands it off to Eckler. Eckler pushing forward to the 7, and there's that timeout, 13 seconds to go.
I'll tell you what, as much as Kiv has been struggling throwing the ball through the air, it seems like when he keeps it on the ground to Eckler, he is finding running lanes, getting big gains. And you got to think, maybe when you go up against Kiv, you're expecting pass, you're going to be sit back waiting for him to air it out. It's going to, leave people vulnerable for him to run the ball. If I'm Kiv, I'd like to see him stick to this ground game and, make them stop that run. It's going to be a little harder right now with 13 seconds, obviously, but as this game progresses, that's something he should keep in mind.
Still has a timeout. So Murray goes up under center, drops back, takes off with his legs, won't get there. And he uses a quick timeout here. You think he's trying to get another play in?
I think he is going to go for another play, Scott, and this is where it can get risky. We've seen people mess up in this situation several times already here throughout this Madden challenge.
He's got to have a quick hitter that he likes here.
You cannot mess this up if you're Kiv. You have already made too many mistakes.
He's looking at running plays?
You cannot mess this up. You need to at least tie this ball game.
This has got to go to the air.
Oh my goodness, this is big.
3rd and 2 from the 3. No timeouts. 9 seconds to go in the quarter. Kiv will not get the ball to start the second half. It'll be goes, and he just throws it away.
Very smart. Very, very smart from Kiv. If it's not there right away, just throw it away. Kick this field goal, tie the ball game.
Not a perfect kick, but it's up and it's good. And we are tied with 2 seconds to go before the end of the half. What a first 10 minutes it's been. It's been a roller coaster ride, especially if you're a fan of young Kiv. And Elliott's got some room. Zeke got caught up just a little bit. I don't think he had the speed to burst away anyway, and that's how the half will come to a close. 10-10 here. James, what's going on the other side?
Well, we've had a very, very close game in between KMac and Wesley, but it's close because KMac just can't get anything going offensively. His first drive ended with a punt. This was his second drive, threw a pick six, an easy pick six. His next drive, he threw another interception, and now Wesley leads 7-0. All right, for those of you interested in a big prize from Mutt's new Super Bowl promo, tune in for 3 consecutive hours during our Madden Challenge live stream coverage. For a special token, collect 4 to earn a Super Bowl past and present fantasy pack. You have the rest of today and tomorrow to make that happen. All right, taking a live look into the Snickers Players Lounge. There they are. What's up, little man? What's going on, my man? We got Henry sitting by as well. What else we got back there? Nick Mazesco, Bugs, all the players enjoying themselves there in the Snickers Players Lounge. All right, we got a close game here between 2 belt winners. We send it back to RG and Scott Cole.
Get Nick out of there. Can't have him in the Snickers Lounge. No one's safe.
You know what they need to do in that Snickers Lounge? They all seemed, there wasn't a ton of energy coming through there. Last time that happened, they brought some of those Snickers ice cream bars.
Ooh.
Started handing them out around the lounge, and everybody perked up real quick. I don't know where Jen's at, but if we can get some of that, you know, Snickers ice cream circling around here, it usually boosts morale quite quickly. I'm just throwing it out there.
Jen Wing somewhere trying to take care of your invoices, and you got to run into the supermarket.
Well, those are good ice cream bars, bro.
And then we bring you pizza from Pizza Hut. It's always something, RG. 10-10 in the first half. Ghost is going to, he's got to be like, what? What do I got to do?
Yeah, if you're Ghost, it's frustrating that, you know, you played so much good defense. It's a tie ball game, but the benefit is you do get the ball to start the second half in a tie game, which means you are still in control. So it's pivotal that he goes down and gets some points on this possession.
There's Ross again. This is an East Coast, West Coast battle between Goes and young Kiv. And we got a 3rd and 6 from the 33-yard line. I have no idea how this game's tied.
Look at Kiv in the gap, that left A gap with Amos. He's just standing there.
Heat doesn't come in. Looking, firing, Larry Fitzgerald along the boundary, first down.
That's just too wide open. It's like Ghost was staring him down. Kiv was taking the deep cross away with Amos. Just ran away from it. Ghost makes the prolific read that we've seen from him time and time again in his Madden career.
Vic, an awkward throw.
Oh my God, come on.
Go straight Mortal Kombat. Rukin, and knocked away. 2nd and 10.
You know, Ghost playing with a little extra motivation too. His brother Sonnen just flew in, got in late last night. We saw him in the Players Lounge.
And Casper once again can't hold on to the football.
One thing I love about the brothers Spall, they're always supporting each other. And we saw Sonnen almost win the Broncos Club Championship this year before he went down to Turbo Jeff. He promised me that he'll get one of them one time, but now he's here supporting his brother Ghost, one of the best in the world. Ghost on a big 3rd and 10.
Vic And this time it's going to be picked. It's the legend, Willie Brown. And he'll return it out to the 42-yard line. Young Kiv with the ball with a chance to take the lead.
Come on.
One-eyed Willie headed to Goons. We saw him chuck it up in a one-on-one. Willie didn't come down with it. Kiv was frustrated. You test the head of the Goons one too many times, he's going to make a play, and that's what Willie Brown did right there. And there goes Kiv getting it done on the ground. I'm telling you, Scott, if I'm the Kiva, I'm giving Ghost a heavy dose of Austin Eckler until he shows me that he can blow it up.
6 carries for 80 yards for Eckler. Ghost came out with 10 unanswered. Kiv battled back with 10 points of his own. And now he's got the ball with 2:31 to go in the third. Eckler once again.
I mean, these lanes are just wide open, Scott, and Kiv's got the stick work to take them. And it's because you can't commit. I mean, if you're playing young Kiv, the last thing you're thinking is, oh, let me commit to stop the run. There's no way.
2nd and 4 now. It certainly helped him take care of the football since he's gone with the ground game. Murray here for Kiv. And throws back across. OBJ coming out of the backfield. Will take it to the 22.
Beautiful play from Kiv. That's that delay route from the tight end. You can hot route your tight ends to delay routes this year, and what they'll do means is they're gonna block until you hit that A button of the tight end, and that's gonna let them know to stop your blocking assignment and release. It's a new tactic to Madden 20, and if you're not doing it, using it, you're doing it wrong. That block and release
and that's why
key.
This Trey Y flex is so important. A lot of things you can do with putting that wide receiver at tight end, but this time OBJ.
It's a really good point, Scott. It is a wide receiver at the tight end position, and you can't do that in any formation. But in this Trey Y flex, they do have a package that allows them to do it. So usually that's some slow guy on the block and release. With the Kiver, it was Odell Beckham was able to catch it, and not only catch it, put on a spin move and get some yards after the catch.
2nd and 10.
He's in this patented bunch here, Scott.
Ross will motion out. Kiv looking downfield, somehow avoids the sack. And Isabella.
Damn, we got a sack.
They'll say his knee was down at the 14.
I wonder how Kiv would have done in the old school mini games. You know, the pocket drill when they'd shoot all the little tennis balls at you? That was before Kiv's time. All my old Madden heads know exactly what I'm talking about. Bet you the Kiva would be a problem in that drill with the elite pocket presence that he has. Same with Ghost.
Eckler.
Big tackle, boy.
Gets to the 13, and he's going to send the field goal unit out here and try to take a field goal lead, but it's going to be 13 unanswered if this kick can find its way true. And it does. 13-10. Now in the favor of Kiv. And that takes us to the 4th quarter. 5 minutes left in this one. Put your 4s up. It's Kiv and Goes in group play.
What a group it is, too, when KMac is the underdog to come out of a group. I mean, you know you got a serious group right there.
Of course, you can check all these games out on the Madden Competitive YouTube channel. I was out there watching a little earlier.
I love what they've done with that YouTube channel. It was too hard for too long. You know,
yeah, I just want to like find a game from like way back in the day, and you can't find it, but now you can. Everything that's happened in Madden 20 has been archived.
It's a huge shout out to our broadcast team, and you know, I'm glad that they're taking the initiative to do that. It pains me that, you know, all the footage and videos from back when I was competing, you know, it's in the land of the lost now. Not going to allow that to happen with the MCS. That's a big deal to preserve our history.
I'm sure someone's got those laser discs somewhere.
Point is, make sure you go out and support that YouTube channel, support the MCS.
Going up top. And Dalvin Cook
Like what?
can't
Oh
come
my
down with it, and
God.
neither can Willie Brown, who is step for step with him.
Man, he's playing good.
Kiv needs to be careful, not get too tilted. I know you want the interception right there, but you know they knock it down in that situation, especially when the wide receiver goes for that aggressive catch. You need to stay focused, stay locked in if you're the Kiva. But you did hear Ghost say, man, he's playing good defense. Well, he is the #1 ranked defensive player in the whole field.
He could run for the first down here, but instead he playmakers up. Ross, and Ross is going to put on the afterburners. And he's inside the red zone. They'll mark him down at the 12. Big gain for Goes.
Phenomenal play from Hassan Spall to playmaker in space, and potentially even a bigger tackle from young Kiv. He clicked onto that Troy Apke, and that's not an easy tackle to make in the open field. Let's see how big that ends up being. Can he hold Ghost to 3 right here? Keep this a tie ball game. Oh,
got
forget about that!
And Davis will scoop
Let's
for
go!
Kiv. Goes was in prime time scoring position, and he gives it away.
Oh, the left cancels.
I'm talking about keeping it a tie ball game. Kiv says, shut up over there in the booth, Archie. How about I punch him in the mouth right now, get the ball back, and give myself a chance to go down and make this 2 possessions. All the momentum's with the Kiva.
Big gain of 8 as Eckler is closing in on 100 yards. 9 carries for 96. And here comes the 2nd and 2. Goes hasn't scored since, I believe, the first quarter. It's been a while.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Ghost potentially laying down for the rest of the field, too. I mean, everybody loves young Kiv, but nobody's trying to deal with him late into this Madden challenge as the bracket progresses. And Ghost had a chance to put him away 0-2 up 10-0, and now he finds himself back against the ropes, and Kiv looking to get himself all the way back into this group.
And he might have lost a yard. It's going to depend on the spot here. Yeah, they'll push him back. It'll be a 3rd and 3. He cannot take it to the 2-minute warning.
Oh, baby, this is going to be a humongous 3rd and 3, Scott. It's tough if you're Kiv. You've had so much success on the ground. You kind of want to go to Eckler, but you're a pass-first type player, so you go to the air.
And he'll put in the flats to OBJ, who battles for it. And it's 4th and inches.
Damn!
What do you do, RG? 2-minute warning, 4th and inches. You got the lead. And
This is a tough
I think he's gonna
decision.
go.
I don't like picking what I gotta eat for breakfast off of the menu. Making these type of decisions is tough. But Kiva says I'm an offensive specialist, so that's what I'm known for, and he's going.
French toast, 4 pieces of bacon crispy, up to Isabella.
Come on!
Will they catch him? And they will, all the way to the 1.
What a play from young Kiv. And I'll tell you, Scott, we've talked about it before. Sometimes the best time to take a shot, it takes some kahunas to do it, is in those short yardage situations. Everybody's playing underneath. They're playing hard flats. They're going to leave themselves vulnerable over the top, and Kiv goes for it.
Let's
and now
go!
he's reaping the benefits after getting a touchdown and going up 2 possessions. Immaculately played by young Kiv.
It is now 20 points unanswered. 5 plays, 84 yards, taking less than 2 minutes. And Goes, who came in 1-0 in the groups after a big win over KMac, is now finding himself on the other side. And Kiv, who lost his first matchup, really needed this as you take a look at the Snickers touchdown one more time.
And if you're at home watching and you struggle on offense, take a note on that. I used to make a living like that, Scott, of getting big plays in those short yardage situations. If you're not the best offensive player, you definitely want to get that into your game plan, because it is going to be so much easier to turn big plays in those inches situations. It's risky, but sometimes the reward is worth the risk, as it sure was right there for Shea Kivlin, AKA young Kiv.
Almost looked like a shovel pass out to Dave Casper. It's a gain of 5. Uses a timeout. 94 seconds left in the game. He needs a score and an onside kick. He goes to Ross. Ross will pick up the first down, but tackled in bounds. And we're down to 1:15 now. Up top to Casper. Casper's got some room, but Willie Brown will trip him up to the 15.
The problem is every time I see Casper now, I'm thinking, there goes James's boss.
45 seconds to go here. If you're not confident in the red zone, you might want to kick the field goal.
Oh, for sure. You need an onside kick anyway. The problem is, even if you get the onside kick, it's hard to get this close to the end zone, so you probably have a better chance of getting the touchdown right here. Where if you get the touchdown and then the onside, getting a field goal is way less of a problem.
And Willie Brown says, not today, no sir. And what a comeback for Kiv.
I call him One-Eyed Willie, head of the Goons for some reason, because you do not want to trifle with Willie Brown. That was a huge pick for young Kiv, one of the elite corners. He has Shaquille Griffin and Willie Brown out there on the outside. And if you're in this Madden challenge, you got to pay attention to that, because it is going to be tough to test Kiv's corners because they're locked down out there.
Can't take 2 knees, I guess, based on where he was on the field, but now he should be able to bend the knee. He was down 10-0. He had thrown 3 interceptions, and it looked like he might be heading home. Next thing you know, he reels off 20 points.
That's part of the greatness that is young Kiv, Scott. He's one of the top players in the world for a reason, and it's because he can come back from deficits like that against top players like Ghost. And not everybody's built like that, but you know who is? The Kivler.
The Madden guy in me wants to go, I could beat him. But I know better. What a comeback by young Kiv. 20-10 in a thriller, and now they find themselves both 1-1 in Group D. Let's head over to James and the guys.
Scott, thank you so much. James Coe joined alongside by one great user, Andrini. What a great match we just saw in front of us here today. I want to get your reactions, Drini, to what you just saw. Ghost taking on Kiv.
Honestly, when Ghost went up 10-0, I thought it was about to be a blowout. Kiv was struggling, and he just kept making mistakes, uncharacteristic mistakes, and then Kiv tightened up. He played good defense, played good offense. I don't think Ghost scored for an entire 3 quarters after that, so, it's good stuff by Kiv. But Ghost, he's about to play against Wesley. You know Wesley and Kiv, they're cool with each other. I'm pretty sure, they haven't labbed, but I'm pretty sure Kiv's gonna tell Wesley what he should do versus
I feel like it was more Ghost kind of tilting and folding than Kiv fighting back, in my opinion. I play Ghost, and Ghost is a guy, he plays off confidence, man. When his confidence is up, man, he's like one of the toughest players in the world.
One of the best front runners.
For real. Like when his confidence is up, man, he's tough to beat. And Kiv had threw 2 interceptions and was still fighting. When Ghost threw that 1 interception,
right,
he folded. I mean, he was getting ball at half. All he had to do was still go in down 3. But he threw a pick, and Kiv ended up going into halftime tied. And then he still had the ball 7, but he was fighting like he was down, even though he was really up the whole time.
And this is it right here.
That was just off of 1 interception. And you can't let one play tilt you for the whole game, even when you're still in great position.
The fact that Kiv had 4 interceptions in his first game, 3 more in his second game. Drini, when you look at that stat, 7 interceptions in 2 games for a prolific passer like Kiv, what do you think?
I mean, 7 interceptions, and I expect a 0-2 record. He somehow actually came up with a win, so that's super impressive that he could fight back from something like that. So.
Yeah, and those 7 interceptions is like Kiv said, I'm just not comfortable. I'm just not comfortable. And when this is draft champs, you're not get to run everything that you want. So I understand those 7 interceptions. Trust, if anybody understands, one blind user understands 7 interceptions.
One blind user. It was a tremendous game, no doubt about it. Kiv fell down 10-0 and then stormed back with 20 unanswered of his own to win that with 20-10. But on the other side, it was KMac taking on Wesley. And when we talk about those interceptions, now Wesley had 4 interceptions against Kiv, and then guess what? He picked up another 3 interceptions in this ball game. This entire matchup, guys, was basically predicated on KMac just not being able to throw the ball at all.
And what's crazy is KMac got his book. He had 2 chances out of 32 teams to get his book, and he got his book. And besides that 4th and 29 bomb, KMac has not put up any offensive touchdowns.
Nothing.
That's surprising.
I mean, just such a laydown for KMac. You know, you got your favorite book, like you just said, and he's just not playing good. He's playing awful. And there goes Tyreek Hill just taking it, and 24-7. Wesley's 2-0, man.
Wesley has not had to do very much. I mean, the bottom line is KMac on his drives punted, threw a pick 6, threw an interception, got a lucky touchdown on 4th and 29, a turnover on downs, another turnover on downs, got an interception. I mean, it was bad offense from KMac.
KMac is making some of the worst reads I've ever seen. I'm talking about quadruple coverage, people wide open, just throwing books to the crib. I'm sitting out here looking at the screen like, I can't believe this, you know. But, you know, maybe it might be the big stage or coming out here live. You know, this is his first live event. So you never really know how these players are going to deal with the pressure because you're not at home. KMac's a streamer, so I thought he would really do good out here. I know everyone else at home thought he would. I mean, KMac should be used to the attention, but maybe, you know, I don't know. He got his book, so I really don't know. I can't give you the answer for that one.
Now, sometimes, you know, we heard it, you know, in the trash talk, sometimes these guys feel like they're drowning, you know. Yeah. And to me, when I was watching this game unfold, it certainly seemed that's kind of what was happening to KMac. But I want to focus in on Wesley, Drini. What's been so impressive? I mean, obviously the defense is something that really jumps out to me.
Yeah, I feel like the only reason Kiv played really good defense on Wesley is, you know, they're in the same crew. They know what each other like to run. So, you know, once Wesley played someone like KMac, who he hasn't played much, you know, recently, you know, this is what happens. He's going to score this many points. He has his Houston playbook bunch. He has all the plays and bunch that he needs to, you know, dominate on offense. So, you know, unless he's playing Kiv, expect him to dominate and, you know, play good on offense.
All right, so again, Wesley's got 7 interceptions through 2 games, and because of the defense, he is now 2-0 in Group D play. Young Kiv right behind at 1-1, and of course goes at 1-1. Kiv with that tiebreaker because, well, he just beat Ghost. And meanwhile, KMac has been, I believe he's been mathematically eliminated. You look at the point differential, minus 46. So yeah, just been confirmed that KMac has been eliminated.